cannot take this kind of talkings like a distraction, like an entertainment. We need certain attitude to deal with spiritual subjects. People, because they escape from themselves, run after entertainment, after distraction. Television, newspapers, singers, films, whatever. And there are certain people who have the same attitude towards lectures, sat-saṅgs, spiritual masters, like to hear a little this good entertainment. And then we are not really open in the right amplitude that we need in order to digest, to absorb this truth, or even to explore, to investigate in the right way, in the right, with the right openness. I want to talk about something really serious. So we need a mood when we are out of, in a hospital and we wait for the news about our friend or parent, somebody. Or when we are in a funeral and when somebody who was dear to us leave, is this mood of seriousness that when we really begin to ask ourselves serious questions like what is this life, or what is the meaning of this life, when we really have a serious approach to life, with this mood we can meet, because this is the importance of these talkings. If there is a real meeting between the speaker and you, if we can, and for that we need to vibrate in the same mood, to be in the same path together. That is the importance of the mood, the attitude. If one is in the mood of entertainment and the other one in a serious mood, will be no meeting. Even things, are relevant for your life, for you will be more a question of a distraction, to go out of your routine, to forget about the difficulties of your life. And we talk about the difficulties of your life. We talk about the reality of your life. You understand where we can separate, we can disconnect one from the other. Before every talk, this is important to establish. If the goal, what you search through these lectures, is to forget your daily pain, your daily misery, your routine, your hard work, your problems, and the speaker wants to talk about your problems, about your misery, about your solitude, to explore, to investigate, to to inquire why all this happens, why we suffer. So we will not be able to meet. We will not be able to cultivate, to create a real relationship. Relationship is something that should be in the same mood, in the same goal, in the same path, in the same, on the same page, people say, on the same page, in the same time. If one is in the past and the other is in the future, no meeting. Should be both of them in the now, in the present, together. Because we talk about relationship. Relationship is something that you cannot avoid. So we cannot talk if to relate or not to relate, if to cultivate or not relationship. That is something that you cannot avoid. What we can try is to understand how to relate, in which way to relate. You can go, you have relationships. From the first moment that you begin to cultivate a relationship with your parents, uncles, brothers, sisters, family, neighbors, friends, from the kindergarten, teachers, boss, I don't know, partners, daughters, son. All your life is a life of relationship. You cannot avoid. Even when there is no people, you have relationship with objects. Cats, dogs, birds, and you have with objects like the car, the house, books, objects that are dear for you. You have certain relationship. Even when nothing is there, you have a certain relationship with your thoughts, ideas, concepts, ideals, ambitions, with your fears. You have a relationship with yourself. Relationship is something that as long as you live, there is relationship. No way to avoid it. And even if nobody is there, even if you are in a desert island, alone, you have a relationship with yourself. What we call, many people talk about it, to be in relationship with myself, peace with myself, to be coherent with myself, with yourself. How is it possible? How this happens, you and yourself? There are two entities? No. How is it going? How can be? And we talk, you with yourself is the most basic, fundamental relation for you in life. There is a book, Drig Drishya Viveka, of Adi Shankara. In the verse number 6, he explained that there are two kinds of thoughts. Thoughts about others and thoughts about yourself. Means objective thoughts and subjective thoughts. Or if you want, external thoughts and internal thoughts. Thoughts that are related to the objective world, the external world, and thoughts that are related to yourself. this is related to antakarana, the internal organ, the inner organ, or the mind. For those who have certain familiarity with Vedanta, and especially with Raja Yoga, and understand how the different functions of the mind or antakarana, you know, there is manas, buddhi, and chitta. Manas is to know, like a radar, searching for what is going on around. Watch the objective world, the objective reality, looking around, hearing, but to know. And then whatever is the object, the person of our interest, bring her the information, insight, to the intellect, buddhi. Buddhi analyze, evaluate, with the help of chitta. That is, chitta is to remember. To know, to evaluate, to remember. So these three are related to the objective world. Manas is to know. Buddhi is to evaluate. With the help of chitta, that is the function of remembering, to remember. So all these three, manas, buddhi, and chitta, are related to the external world, to the objective world, to the objective reality. And ahankara is the ego. Ahankara is relate everything to himself. So it's a function of antakarana that is more subjective. Yeah. And then the relation between you and yourself, when people talk about it, they talk about the relation between manas, buddhi, chitta, with ahankara, the thoughts about the objective world, the objective thoughts, with the subjective thoughts. This is the relation with myself. So, but we talk about relationship. This is the basic, the coherence between them, yeah, the harmony between them. But still, all the relation is on the level of the mind. We talk, when we say me with myself, is duality. That means still is on the level of the mind. It's a mental relation. The relation between me and myself is still mental, is relative, is dual. So this is very important, because when we talk about relationships, how to relate, what is the right way to relate, because there are different ways. There is to relate or to cultivate relations in bondage, and there is the possibility to cultivate, to develop relationships in freedom. So, and we want to explore, to investigate how is it possible, what makes the difference, what contribute that I can relate, love, live with somebody, develop relations with friends, but in freedom, that these relations in no way will limit my freedom or put me in bondage. But in order to inquire into this subject, first of all, we need to know very clearly who is the one who relates. What I mean when I say, I am in this relation, you are my friend, who are you for me? I am your friend. What I mean with I? What is the meaning of this I? What I mean by the word I? Or when I say, I love you, what I mean by I, love is clear. What I mean by I, what I mean by you. Who is the one who is in relation? Who is the one who loves? Who is the one? This is essential. This is basic. And in order to understand this point, we need to continue to analyze all this, the mechanism of the mental mechanism, the psychological mechanism. We become in touch with the objective reality through the jnana indriyas, that they are the organs of knowledge, ears, skin, all that. Through the jnana indriyas, I bring information to the manas, the antakarana, but the manas is the radar, we say already. So the information comes to manas. Manas is like a radar and brings the information to buddhi. Buddhi, as we say, evaluate, analyze with the help of chitta. That is, chitta is another function that is to remember, but is the warehouse of memories, not only from this life, from many, sometimes hundreds and thousands of past lives. And from there, buddhi use the intellect in order to evaluate, to compare. And then we have the other function that is the, as we say before, the objective function, that is ahankara, the ego, that he relate everything to himself. An example, the manas look and see something, an object. Still he don't decide what is the subject. Look, bring the information to buddhi. Buddhi take all that information and with the help of chitta begin to compare. And he begin to compare, this is plastic, I touched things like this in the past, but this don't seems like plastic, seems like wood. I touched in the past wood. So I see, compare, yeah, it's wood. And I saw things like this, like that, it's a chair, it's a table. No, he decided at the end is a table. I saw things in the past like this is a table. And then ahankara come and say, this is my table, or his table. This is the same thing with any kind of feelings, emotions, sensations. Manas to them, identify something, but still manas don't decide what is. He only identifies certain symptoms. Bring them, buddhi accept all these symptoms and begin to analyze through the chitta. What I feel in the past like this, say hunger, happiness, this, that, and decide this is hunger. This is happiness. This is attraction. This is this. And then ahankara relate to himself, the ego, and say, oh, I am happy. I am hunger. I feel attracted. I am this or that, whatever, decide. So is ego. The ahankara relate to himself. No? So, through the karma indriyas, that they are the organs of that, respond in certain way to the objective reality. And that is how relationships go. Yeah? Bring information to the mind, respond to the world. Brings information, analyze, identify, and respond. And in that way, we become related. So, the one who relates is ahankara. This I who love, who like, who identify, who relate, who is in the relation, is the ego. And what is the ego? The ego is the ego is when the observer become identified with the object of observation. Do you understand? Consciousness is the observer, observed through certain tools or means, and become identified with these tools. Is when the self become identified with inert instruments like the body-mind complex. This is the ego. It's a wrong identification, an illusory identification. This is ego. To put it in very easy way, is what you think that you are, not what you really are. It's not your authenticity. It's what you believe about yourself. It's your identification, the image you have built about yourself. This is the ego. And this is the one who is in a relation. Because the ego is the opinion you have about yourself, the idea you have about yourself, is a contraction in consciousness. Small contraction in consciousness is a part. Because any opinion you have about yourself will always be limited, no matter how big. I am a human being. Is there the element I am is my real nature, is the self. I am is consciousness. But I had certain opinion, human being. Human being belongs to the nature of the body-mind complex, a human being. In the same way, I am happy. I am is the nature of the self, my real nature. Happy is a state of mind. And everything, so many opinions I have about myself. And the ego feel always a discomfort, some difficult, some sadness, because we live with a sense of limitation. Any opinion that you have about yourself will be limited. Yeah, for example, if you say, I am a millionaire, it's okay, you are a millionaire. But this millionaire cannot have all the richness of the universe, so will be limited. And then you want to expand, you want another million. Yeah. But even if you are a multimillionaire, still will be limited. You cannot have all the richness of the universe. You can be a scholar, erudite, intelligent, but you cannot be omniscient. You can be in Hawaii, you can be in Mexico, you can be in many different places. If you have money, you have less limitations. But you cannot be everywhere. You are not omnipresent. So, and this is what everybody search for. This is what everybody search for. To be liberated of this sense of limitation. This is what we search for. With this sense of limitation, we don't like ourselves. With this sense of limitation, we don't feel adequate. We don't feel, we suffer. Because in some place we have this internal feeling, this internal experience that we are unlimited. We know we are unlimited. We don't like this sense of limitation because it's not our real nature. If it was our nature, we like it. The fire is heat, there is heat, they are related, it's okay. Sugar and sweetness, no problems. You and love, no problems, I like it. You and happiness is your nature. Unlimited, you are unlimited. your real nature as the self is the ocean. And you perceive that what we can call the oceanic aspect. You can perceive in yourself that there is an oceanic aspect. You are not only a wave, you are not only a bubble. There is in you certain connection to some oceanic aspect, because at the end you are the ocean. You are a wave, you are a bubble, but simultaneously you are the ocean, but you forgot. The ego is forgetfulness. Forgetfulness of you, your reality, your authenticity. So we suffer. We don't want to be with ourselves. We constantly search how to escape from ourselves, from this sense of limitation, to escape from the sense of limitation, to try to be completed. Something, whatever we see in this world, and we are attracted. Power. We want to complete ourselves. We see things that originally we are, but we don't perceive in this sense of limitation because the opinion we have about ourselves, and then we want to complete ourselves with that power, with that expansion. We see something beautiful, with that beauty, I want to add it to myself. Whenever you want a friend, yeah, you think this friend will complete me. You become in coupleship, married. This person will complete me. We look and we think there is a hope to be complete. Knowledge will complete me. Richness. This richness will complete me. And we'll continue all the time to search and to run after something that is missing. Because the whole is missing. Everything is missing. For the ego, everything is missing. So we run after things to be completed. I am not happy. I am not happy. I live in discomfort. But then we transform life, world, as a medium to become happy. I look and I transform objects, places, situations, people, and relationship with people. I use as a means to make me happy, to satisfy my demands. These demands of the ego that feel in solitude, disconnected, incomplete. The ego is a needy entity that have a lot of psychological demands, emotional urges, because of the illusion that he lives in, because he takes himself as, he perceives himself, the ego is to perceive yourself as something disconnect, something apart and not the whole. Is an illusory because of avidya, ignorance. Is the ignorance about yourself is the ego. So I go and relate to objects, people, things, places, but my relations is only a means, a tool, a medium, how to satisfy and fulfill my internal demands. Through the relationship, I want to be happy. Through the relationship, I want to satisfy myself. Every relationship, every friend, I come to the friendship but with an agenda to become happy. I come like I come to any object, an agenda. Every relation that I cultivate with somebody, I come with my agenda. No? Even, friendship, coupleship, parents, whatever, but everyone with his agenda ready. In some way, I don't pay attention, but I utilize people like objects of my satisfaction. What is the problem with that? The problem is that at the moment that all my friends, families, couple, wife, husband, children, everybody that I am in relation, or I have a relation, is because they fulfill certain needs, emotional or psychological, whatever. So instantly I lose my independence because I become dependent on that person. If you satisfy my, for example, I don't want to be alone. I experience solitude. And then I search you as the medicine, the remedy, the solution. You take me from my solitude. Yeah. I will feel attached to you, dependent on you, because you are the solution. And then other person is, I feel low self-esteem. And you say me how much I am incredible and strong. Yeah. How beautiful I am. I need you. I become attached to you. And like that, every relationship arises in me a dependence. Because it's obvious, satisfy my needs, so I become dependent. And in relationships, I lose my freedom. Now, I come to you in a relation, but I am full of expectations. Expectations of satisfaction of my emotional, psychological, sentimental needs. And in both directions. The other one have certain expectations to satisfy his needs, his impulses, mental impulses, emotional urges from me. So this relation is both sides become in bondage. And this is the problem. There is a way that we can relate one with the other, not in bondage, but in freedom. How is it possible? The question is very related, if I can live not as a consumer, but as a contributor, if it's possible. Because what is freedom? Is freedom to do whatever I want? Many people have in mind that freedom is to do whatever you want. You can, I don't know, I want to make a party in the middle of the highway. This is I want. Stop the vehicles, stop the cars, stop everything, and we do a party in the middle of the highway. Or to drive in the middle of the highway, to drive against the traffic. Or to cross with the red, whatever I want, to do whatever I want. If I want to drink alcohol, whenever I want, champagne, whenever I want to take drugs, if it's possible to be, this is freedom, if this is freedom. And obviously it's impossible, because you cannot live in the world in this kind of, if this is your view of freedom, that is an impossible. In the world of names and forms, you need to sleep, you need to drink water, you need to eat, you need to go to the restaurant. This is not such a freedom doesn't exist. It's not part of life. It's not to fulfill all your demands and urges whenever you want, but to be able to transcend your mental, emotional, psychological demands and urges. That is real freedom. Freedom is not depends on an external situation, but belongs more to a subjective experience, to the subjective world, to your internal reality. Because we always search for the right situation in order to be free. I think if I will be the boss, I will be free. I do whatever I want. Everybody will be under my control, and then I will be free. If I will be millionaire, I will be free. I will be able to go wherever I want, to satisfy any mental urge that I have very easily. If I become a president, I become a king of the world. But in some point, you need to realize that freedom don't belongs to an external situation. Have nothing to do with the job, with to be a general or something like that. Freedom belongs to our internal world. It's something very subjective. Belongs to your subjective reality. If you transcend, if you go beyond your needs, psychological urges, emotional demands, then you can approach the world in freedom. In freedom. Suppose if you can relate to a person, but without emotional demands, without any expectation, only then you will see that you will be able to know the other, who the other is, and not who you expect to be. Because actually our relation with the other is that we expect the other to be in a certain way, to act in a certain way. When we are in this kind of relations in bondage, we know that we are expected to act in a certain way. We are expected to love certain things. You are expected to like certain things. No? And the same way, in the same attitude in the other direction. But if I am beyond my psychological, emotional urges, I can relate to somebody without expectations. So I can know you, how you are, what you really like, what you really love in your freedom, who you are. And I can show myself as I am in my reality, with what I like, with what I love. Yeah. But how, on which basis is possible this relationship? To what? There are people who will say, but if I don't need, why to be in relationship? Many people. Okay, but if I don't need nothing from the other, why friendship? Why coupleship? If I am beyond my sexuality, sex, I don't need sex. I don't need warmth. I don't need attention. So why to be? There are other reasons. We can be together in order to grow, to evolve, to develop ourselves together, to learn together about ourselves, to explore all the energy that is so busy in how I can satisfy myself with you and you the same with the other. We can use it to study, to learn, to grow, to study one the other, what you are, what I am, why we act in the way we act, to go in the same path together, and to develop ourselves. Not to see in the other only a source of satisfaction of my needs. Compassion, love, without the mind, a real relation can really be a communion when it's without thinking process. simple to be. Then is the problem. Where is the problem of this joy of relationship? When the bondage begin? Why we cannot enjoy? To enjoy the other. Like you enjoy the trees, life, the breeze. You enjoy the company of the other, the association with the others. You enjoy the eyes of the other, the hair, his presence, everything. And no problem with that. The problem begins when you think about it. You think about it. And then you develop certain, the desire for the repetition arise. Repetition, this, when you catch in your memory, when you memorize, you remember those moments. From this memory arise the desire to repeat the situation, because you want one more time this happiness, this satisfaction, and then you want to repeat it. And because you want to repeat it, you want to possess in order to repeat it whenever you want. And from there arise what was a beautiful moments of joy. From there arise the attachment. The attachment. I want to possess the object, to possess the person, in order to repeat the situation whenever I want. But then I need the person to be in a certain way. I need the person to like this, like that, to like this specific situations in order to fulfill my desire. So, live in a meditative way. Live the moment. Be in the moment. Enjoy the moment. Cultivate relationships that you enjoy the moment, but don't allow the process of thinking to go into it. Don't think about it. Only enjoy. Don't think about it.